Hey there, Chicago Bears fans and fans of the NFC North. This is Tim with NFC North Monsters here just to talk about last night's thriller in Chicago. Chicago Bears started the game with a field goal and went up 3-0. And then from there, Green Bay pretty much ran the table for the majority of the first half. They're scoring 21 points while Chicago still had the three on the board. Going into halftime, it did not look great for Chicago, but Caleb already had one turnover in the first half there, possibly the second interception. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, Chicago came out in the second half, made adjustments. Dennis Allen, who I thought should have been fired at halftime, because I was just like, come on, man. Once again, playing man coverage. The one thing that we have been sucking at, we came out, we freaking were doing in the whole first half. I really think Ben Johnson needs to walk over to his office and be like, see this book here of your man coverage? Right there's the toilet. I'm putting that shit in the toilet and I'm flushing it. You can't do man with this crew. It just doesn't work. But second half, Bears came out, got a nice 3 and out there right away on Green Bay. Looks like they got the Jordan Love. They flustered him quite a bit. And from there, it was off to the races. Uh, Two more field goals to go 21-9, which I thought was fantastic to do. Get the point on the board because we were not doing it on fourth down conversions like we typically do. But, Bears do Bears, man. It was exciting. Cardiac Bears. DeAndre Swift ran in for a touchdown. There was another score in there for Green Bay. Starting to look bleak at 27-16. Then the Iceman, Caleb Williams, said, fuck you, Green Bay. Fuck you, everyone. I'm doing this thing myself. And that's exactly what he did. He went out there, threw a pass to Zacchaeus in the touch for the second touchdown of the game there for the Bears. And then in the fourth quarter, a little nerve-wracking there, especially as time was winding down. I really was like, we need to run the ball more here. Obviously, that was not the game plan, and that's why I do this and I don't coach. Ben Johnson dialed up a nice play for Caleb Williams to hit DJ Moore along the seam, down the sideline, touchdown, DJ Moore. We go up, and we stayed up for the rest of the next 2 minutes, or minute 48. Defense really stepped up in that last drive there. I don't know why we can't do quarter one to quarter four. It seems a little ridiculous that we can't do all four quarters. We have to just wait till the fourth quarter to do our magic. Going into the divisional round, we're going to be looking at either the Eagles or the Rams. We can't do this fourth quarter magic against those teams. We have to play 4 solid quarters against either team. Doesn't matter. We just need to get our shit together from the beginning whistle to the end whistle. But I mean, on the plus side here, Caleb Williams once again setting records in Chicago history, 361 yards. The previous record was Mitchell Trubisky against the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round of 303. It's almost like history's repeating itself here if we get the Eagles again. In Chicago, are the ghosts of the double doink going to be around? Fuck no, because we have Cairo Santos. That guy don't doink. He just goes right through the middle. Impressive. While I was watching the game, I had this feeling before the game. I even said in one of my shows, Cairo knows that stadium. He knows that wind. He knows that turf. And for some reason, I just had a gut feeling that the Packers kicker was going to fuck up. And he sure did. In key moments that cost them that game because they were playing from behind. We would have been the ones with the cardiac arrest going on because we would have had to hold Green Bay to stay out of field goal range for a game-winning field goal. It didn't happen that way. We came out and did exactly what we needed to do. I am so proud of the players and the coaches in Chicago. Even though I keep harping on Dennis Allen, just because I don't like his schemes that he comes out with, I also try to understand he doesn't have the players that he needs to have to run his schemes. But still, I'm really hopeful going into this divisional round that lessons have been learned, Goliath has been slain, the dragon's been slain, whatever you want to call it. And now the Bears no longer have to hear this shit about the Green Bay Packers and how the Bears struggle, this, that, and the other. First win against Green Bay in the playoffs since 1941. That's all. I wasn't even freaking born then. But it's just ridiculous that, we just have this thing when we see that yellow helmet that we just tighten up and we just can't play football. At this point, I think this squad against whoever they play, watch out. Them Bears are still coming for your ass. That locker room and that locker room press conference that they showed, not really press conference, but the speech that Ben Johnson gave where he handed out the game balls and much deserving to Coastal Loveland, who had 137 yards, most since I believe they said 1988 by a tight end in Chicago Bears. That that kid's impressive, and I still say it right now. Coastal Loveland is the rookie of the year. Fuck all the other guys. This kid is just damn right, downright impressive. Colston is the safety blanket for Caleb Williams right now. And you know what? If you try to take Williams out of the game, defenses coming up, he's got Odunze, he has Moore, he has Burden, he has Zacchaeus, he has Swift. Caleb's got weapons. So go ahead and take one away. He'll just throw it to Komet or he'll throw it to somebody else. It don't matter. The Iceman don't give a shit who you bring at him. I don't even know. Was there even a sack in that game last night? I don't even know against Caleb. I was just so in the moment, just on the edge of my seat watching that whole damn game. Like I couldn't believe that. But we also had some bad luck come our way. The injury bug once again bit the Bears right in the ass. We lose TJ Edwards. Really nasty looking injury there. Broken fibula is what he has. That's going to obviously take him out for the rest of this playoffs and going probably into next season as well. He's going to be out probably a couple months. But the worst one of all was losing Ozzy Trapillo to the patella tendon. Just knowing through coaching myself, when you have an ACL tear, anything in that knee, you're looking at a good year, possibly. If he pushes, you're going to get him back in 9 months. So, I mean, we're looking at he's probably out for the majority of next season as well. We might be looking at seeing him. If we do another push, November, December, we could get Trapillo back. But what type of player are we getting back? The only plus side is it's not even a plus. Braxton Jones is now available, so he can move up to that secondary behind the Canadian Eagle, and at least we have depth at left tackle. Even though Braxton Jones covers more like a freaking turnstile than he does anything else, we all had hope for Braxton Jones that he could maybe become a left tackle. He's going to become a drive-through order taker at McDonald's. It's about where his trajectory is going. Not much hope on seeing Braxton excel in the offseason here or in the postseason going into the offseason. And he probably won't be on the 53-man roster going into next year. Was nice to see the Spider-Man Kyler Gordon out there. He was actually the one that broke up the last play there when Jordan Love scrambled and threw into the end zone. And he was there. It would be nice to have him have a nice week of rest again and get back into more more of his routine to get ready to go for the next game against either the Rams or the Eagles. Um, really hopeful that we play on Sunday next week. It'd be nice to have that one extra day so we're not going Saturday to Saturday. I just all the rest we can get right now is so beneficial. It would definitely help us out. Also in that game, let's talk a couple more quick stats here. DeAndre Swift had 54 yards, the one TD, like I mentioned. Kyle Monangai, love this kid. 7th round draft pick out of Rutgers. He had just 27 yards. That's not over the top, but still, Caleb Williams, I believe, also had like 20 yards rushing in the game too. So Caleb Williams almost put up 400 total yards of offense just by himself. But on the receiving end, you had Coastal Loveland doing the 137 yards. DJ Moore with 67 yards, 1 TD, and Zacchaeus with the other touchdown. So let's go back to Caleb and what he does to this franchise. You could see that he was pissed off in that first half. He was yelling at Luther Burden. He even told him, "Do your fucking job," is what he told him on the sidelines. You could lip read that plain as day. The play was designed for Loveland to go down the sideline, cut over to the right, and to be right where that defender caught the damn interception. That was on Luther for not doing his job. He was supposed to do it. It was exactly the same play they drew up in Detroit. He didn't do it. Very disappointing to see that out of Luther, that he shit the bed on that one. But he does come back. He does make plays later on in the game that do help. It's just he didn't have a whole lot of receptions for a whole lot of yards. But Luther, I think, will be fine in the next. I think this game had a lot of emotions going, and I think the Bears were super hyped up. And you could hear it in the crowd up until about halftime when you could hear a pin drop. And then once the second half started and the Bears started getting their momentum, the stadium was rocking. Even Al Michaels mentioned that the stadium has been rocking more than he's ever been there in 31 games. That's a lot to say. You fans in Chicago, you are the number one fans in the NFL. Without a doubt. Every time I go to a road game with the Bears, because I usually go to Denver to see them, it's just closer for me to go there. Fantastic. I went to one game in Minnesota. That was when they still played outdoors, when the U.S. Bank Stadium was being built. Bears fans showed up in just droves for that game. It was loud. But all in all, Bears kicked ass in the end when it mattered most. It was just, we really need to get 4 quarters out of the Bears instead of just 1. And then also Green Bay, 1, 2, 3, Cancun was their break from huddles, I believe, there in the second half. Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat. I saw a report that he is going to be meeting with ownership, or at least, well, I guess all you are the owners, right? How do you all want Matt LaFleur as your head coach? You probably do. He has a good win record, but he's going to meet with the general manager, their team president or whatever, here in the next couple days. And there's been a lot of talk that he might be out. There was some talk that John Harbaugh will be coming to Green Bay if that happens. I think John Harbaugh goes to Miami, and I can't fault him for wanting to do that. That'd be the top landing spot. If LaFleur was to be let go, I think it would definitely set that franchise back. Stefanski would be probably high on the list if they don't just promote within with their defensive coordinator, who, by the way, was slamming the podium. I don't know if you guys saw that press conference of, "I will see you next week." He will see you next week at Perkins when he's ordering his omelets. That's all he's doing next week. Or you'll see on the beach in Cancun. Once again, the NFC North Monsters podcast thing, the show that I do, like I stated in my very first video, the emphasis is more on the Bears than all the other teams, but I will talk about the other teams. Might be a lot of shit talk about the other teams, but I don't care. I'll still bring up the Lions and the Vikings when need be, as long as the Packers, even though I don't give a crap about the Packers, but I'll talk about them. I do feel bad that, no, I don't. The only thing I feel bad about is the injuries that we had out of that game. That sucked, losing Ozzie, bright shining star on that left tackle, really coming into his own. But I do hope that going into the next game we'll have CJ Gardner-Johnson back. Obviously, having another full week of recovery from that concussion. Not sure where he's at in the concussion protocol, other than he was out. We do have another player also on that injury list with the concussion. So, but I mean, most importantly, right there it is. Bears win 31-27 in Chicago. It was great to see. And then this guy right here, Ben Johnson, that icy handshake at the end of the game. Don't know how many people caught that. It was more like he was just like, yeah, get the fuck out of my way, when he was shaking Matt LaFleur's hand. He wanted nothing to do with him. But hey, Ben Johnson was correct when he said, I enjoy nothing more than beating Matt LaFleur twice in 1 year. He did. He went 2-1 against him this year. The Bears are now 3-4 against the Green Bay Packers. Ownership is finally, I think, changing hands from Aaron Rodgers back to the Chicago Bears. Still, though, I think our biggest rival right now is the Detroit Lions, who have owned us for the last 4 games. So we have some work to do there, especially when we start worrying about players moving forward for this franchise. We definitely will need some defensive help. Although I really did like Austin Booker and how he is starting to come into his own. Sweat had a lot of pressures. So did Austin Booker in that game. So, I mean, all in all, everyone, what a fucking game that was. It was so great. I was going to do a show last night after the game, but I didn't have a voice left. I was yelling and screaming as much as I think I could. Surprised the local police department didn't come by because it was freaking loud in my house. But it was exciting. Really looking forward to what the next game holds and who we play. But next game, next opponent, your asses best be ready, because I know the Bears are. Especially, like I said, that locker room was humming. Ben Johnson handed out 3 game balls, one to Colston Loveland, second one to Montez Sweat. The third he gave back to Caleb Williams, who gave it right back to Ben Johnson. That locker room is totally bought in, 100% on Ben Johnson. And it goes from the top all the way to the bottom. And even Ben Johnson, before he even started his speech, was like, fuck Green Bay, fuck them. The rivalry with Green Bay is without a doubt 100% in full swing back. This is going to be just a good ride for us. It's just we need to make sure we stay on their asses every time we play them and quit being intimidated by that stupid yellow fucking helmet. Anyways, everyone, I hope you enjoy the shows that I do. I'm still working on them more and more. I'm looking at getting a new camera here before too long, but baby steps. It's always baby steps with these. I'm Tim from the NFC North Monsters. Let's fucking go. Bear down. Chicago Bears. Next week, divisional round. Fingers are crossed. Let's have a Sunday game. I like to have that extra day. So, all right. Have a good one, everyone.